G'day guys, Josh here. Welcome to XT-002 Deconstructor. Well, he would be here if I didn't kill it last week, because I had to make more of these videos, and then I realized I made a grave error on Mr. XT. So XT is a unique kind of fight where easy mode is actually exceptionally easy the more gear you get, but at the same time, if you do break the heart, oh boy, that's pretty much how bad it gets. Anyways, first things first, okay, so Tympanic Tantrum, he casts this every minute, and basically he just does it for every second, and everyone becomes dazed and slowed for those 8 seconds. Basically, during this time, you want to do your big AoE healing at this stage. The reason why you want to do big AoE healing, he does 10% of your HP. So any damage reduction cooldowns or anything like that should be used during Tympanic Tantrum to reduce the damage done to yourself and done to your raid. So I'm just going to say Divine Sacrifice is totally MVP here, as it will probably save your raid overall, and, you know, it's very, very good during those phases as well. Next up, you got Searing Light. Searing Light, basically, what happens is that generally with Searing Light, you want to put Searing Light to the right and Gravity Bombs to the left. Searing Light basically it just does AoE damage around your people, and you just need to move out before it does some serious AoE damage. With melee, you want to move to the right foot with Searing Light, so you don't do any damage to anyone else. Gravity Bomb, move to the left. With Gravity Bomb as well, you know, you want to move further and further to the left. This will be explained later on in the hard mode strategy. So next up, when XT hits 75%, 50%, or 25%, the heart comes out, and you do 100% extra damage to the heart. And if you manage to kill the heart, you activate hard mode. But if you don't kill the heart, you don't activate hard mode. Any damage to the heart will be replicated to the boss. So pretty much if you get the heart down to about 50%, basically the boss will take 50% of damage to about 62%. So basically, the more you get down the heart, the lower the boss HP is. And if you get the HP of the heart to really low, you're eventually going to have, you know, the boss is going to go from normal phase to heart phase, normal phase to heart phase, making it an absolute joke and a quick kill. But if you want to go to hard mode, then you have to kill the heart. But let's talk about the phases as well during this. So basically, there is a tank ad, which is called a pummeler. The tanks just tank it off to the side. Pretty much all they do is just a cleave, a trample, and an uppercut. Overall, these just got tanked off on the right leg, and that's all they're done by the OT. Next up is the scrap bots. The scrap bots need to be killed. If they reach XT heals, you do not want this. You can root these, you can stun these, you can just blast them. Generally, they come in an AoE pack. Just AoE them down. Fairly easy to do. Just remember that scrap bots and pummelers and all that will come from all these 4 corners, so be aware to see if a scrap bot's coming from this corner. Assign one slow and one big AoE damage at each corner. Make sure they're all done and dusted. Now, be aware that melee should be very careful when going to scrap bots. Generally, they shouldn't really go to scrap bots at all, and they come out when they're getting very, very close. Because if sometimes scrap bots are grouped up with a boom bot, and if a boom bot is killed, melee is going to die. Okay, let's put it this way. Okay, melee is just going to go plop. Either way, this fight just repeats itself over and over again, and pretty much you're just going to rinse and repeat the same strategy until death. So it's going to be heart comes out, DPS, Searing Light to the right, Gravity Bombs to the left. But if you do kill the heart, you get hard mode. Now, hard mode, Heartbreak will make basically XT's health go by 50% and damage by 15%. Now, this damage also increases Tympanic Tantrum's damage. So be aware that now he's gone from doing 10% of your HP to about 15% of your HP, which means cooldowns and heals, significant heals, are needed during Tantrum, because you got 8 seconds where you are losing roughly 120% of your health, which means that everyone will die if they don't get 20% of their health healed back up. This includes tanks as well, and it also includes tanks who are taking the pummel at the same time. So CDs are needed for every Tantrum. Fortunately, Tantrums happen every minute, so rogues can faint, and a few other classes got their own little tricks that they can use as well. DG is a godsend here, as I said. And also any other thing that reduces physical damage is a godsend. Next up is that the Life Sparks and the Searing Light and Gravity Bombs now have their own little extra effect. So with the Void Zone for the Gravity Bombs, you want to put it further left, so there'll be more Void Zones, or less Void Zones. So you want to group up all your Void Zones left, and essentially what you want to do is you want to fill out the entire left side of Void Zones. Now with Gravity Bomb as well, if you're within 10 yards of anyone, you drag them in. Make sure you're not, otherwise you're just going to get people killed. You can avoid a drag in yourself via some movement abilities, so just be aware of it as well. Now last but not least is that the Searing Light at the end of the debuff, you will spawn a Life Spark. Rogues can cloak this and other characters can bubble it, which will spawn a spark immediately instead. So what I recommend is that if you're at the melee doing Searing Light, you go to this right leg, tanks will pick it up, and that's pretty much it. If you're ranged, instead of just moving right, you want to move right into the off tank's taunt range, so the tank can taunt the light spark off you, and you go back to your spot. I'm just going to say, given that Searing Light doesn't last that long, you probably will not be able to make it to the right leg of the boss. So it's better off just going to being in taunt range of the tank instead, and not of course not getting taken out. Now, be aware that you may be able to have some of these debuffs during Tantrum, and if you do, you need to pop significant cooldowns to keep yourself up, or just preemptively bubble to make sure that you do bubbles, cloak, or anything like that, to make sure that you're able to live through the Tantrum as well. Any deaths early on where you have the debuff will instantly trigger the debuff as well. And also, there is a known bug that when the light spark spawns, it'll immediately melee the person that it just came out, even if the tank's at speed of light, basically. So just be aware that you may have to take a melee hit when you drop a spark. Anyways, that is pretty much it. Be aware with these life sparks as well, they hit the same amount as a tank. So, a very hard amount, not same amount as a tank, but a very high amount that does significant damage to a tank. So pretty much you just want to hope you don't get meleeed at all. Even basically pretty much as the fight, you still got that enraged timer on XT of about 8 minutes. So you need to kill with Heartbreaker. You need basically burn him down from 100%, which he restores up to when you do Heartbreaker, to 0. But either way, it's a very easy rinse and repeat fight as long as you get your raid cooldown set and just pump him as hard as you can. Anyways, guys, hope you guys have a great day and see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.